Netanyahu says he has told US that he opposes Palestinian state in any scenario after Israel-Hamas war.
Here's a summary of the article.
Rafah, Gaza Strip. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he has informed the United States that he opposes the establishment of a Palestinian state as part of any post-war scenario. The announcement on Thursday exposed the deep divisions that have emerged between the close allies 3 months into Israel's war against Gaza's Hamas rulers. The U.S. has called on Israel to scale back its offensive and said that the establishment of a Palestinian state should be part of the day after. In a nationally broadcast news conference, Netanyahu vowed to press ahead with the offensive until Israel realizes a decisive victory over Hamas. He also rejected the idea of Palestinian statehood. In any future arrangement, Israel needs security control all territory west of the Jordan, Netanyahu told a nationally broadcast news conference. More than 100 days after Hamas triggered the war with its October 7 attack, Israel continues to wage one of the deadliest and most destructive military campaigns in recent history, with the goal of dismantling the militant group that has ruled Gaza since 2007 and returning scores of captives. Hamas has continued to fight back across Gaza, even in the most devastated areas, and launch rockets into Israel.
This post received a score of 12,000, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
He's been actively working against it for decades, so no surprise there.
The surprise is that he managed to cling to power, again, to make headlines with the shit he says. Thought more of a disappointment than a surprise, by this point.
2/3 of Israelis don't support a Palestinian state, so he's just expressing Israeli popular opinion on the subject.
Just expressing popular opinion. Well, his action for the past decades speak of the opposite. Maybe, just maybe it's the other way around. The Israeli believes what is being spewed.
Dude, decades of aid spent making an office-style tunnel system. It isn't working.
What was Netanyahu's position on statehood before the war?
It's been his position since the past 40 years as far as I know.
Yes, Shimon Peres was reportedly upset with Bibi for his attempts to undermine the Oslo Accords. Bibi bragged about his opposition to it recently at a press conference. Anyone who's willing to ally with bigoted lunatics like Ben-Gvir and Smotrich doesn't have any interest in peace.
Didn't he brag about derailing the Oslo Accords at one point?
IARC Rabin's widow held Netanyahu responsible for inciting his assassination.
Both Netanyahu and his fellow coalition mate, Ben-Gvir have, on separate occasions, advocated for the assassination of Rabin. Netanyahu did so in an infamous protest against Rabin where the protesters held a casket with Rabin's name on it and Netanyahu was photographed walking alongside the protesters and the casket. Ben-Gvir had managed to bypass security and steal the emblem, car logo, can't remember the brand, from the hood of Rabin's car. He was later interviewed by a large news channel holding the emblem and said, "We reached the emblem, we can reach Rabin."
Hamas and Netanyahu are each other's best friends, and each the other's best excuse for their corruption.
He's getting to annihilate Palestine and keep power despite his cartoonish corruption. I'm half convinced he ignored intelligence about the initial Hamas attack beforehand.
Perhaps I'm missing something, but wasn't Netanyahu's entire argument to the Israeli people choosing him was that he would prevent the very attacks like what Hamas did? So in the eyes of the average Israeli, what does Netanyahu actually do?
Greater than so in the eyes of the average Israeli, what does Netanyahu actually do? Think it would have been worse without him? Don't underestimate how tightly people will cling to their notions.
Oh boy, here we go.
Israel needs to get this guy out. Otherwise a lot of the world outside just the Muslim countries are going to be sympathizing with violent resistance. There's nothing else left when the other side's government has firmly said no to peace.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.